to night school where shadows creep. Grab your popcorn, don't fall asleep. The doors are open, let the nightmares play. You won't make it out today. Welcome to night school. The doors have reopened.
Okie dokie, everybody. Okie dokie, everybody. Have a seat, everybody. Have a seat. I have a special surprise for everybody. All the chairs are sticky today.
Woohoo!
All
I
the
knew
chairs
my
are
chair was
sticky.
feeling sticky.
I'm just gonna.
Yes. No.
Matt,
You
sit
must
down.
sit
Matt,
because,
sit down. Sit
yeah,
down.
yeah.
Sit down, Matt.
I'm gonna put this
Mr.
textbook down, though.
Malaves, please sit down. Please sit down, Mr. Malave. Funny, Mr. Malave. You're usually very chatty and feisty, and you're usually a hardcore guy.
Oh,
So why
oh.
are you not
wait,
talking?
Professor, hold on. He just passed me this note. Here you go. Let me just give you the note real quick.
Okay, thank you. Oh. Okay. Moving on. Let's look at the attendance. Miss Ace.
Present. Florida's favorite creep is here. Back at it again with Night School Horror. I am here. I'm ready.
Okay, and Mr. Bebe.
Present. I am
Nice.
here. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. Mr. Baby is in the building. Very excited. Very excited about this class.
Very good. You're going to mention anything else? You're just Mr. Baby during this lesson today?
Professor, every time you are teaching class, I am none other than Mr. Baby. And speaking of that,
perfect.
I am
The one
going.
and only.
Hold on, I'm changing it on my side now. Now it says Mr. Baby. Now
Nice.
everything says Mr.
Perfect.
Baby.
Okay. And this is for the students here listening at home or here in Night School Horror. This is your professor for today, the Grand Wizard of Horror himself, Big Money Eddie. Welcome, everybody. So, before we get started, know that in our class in Night School Horror, we run a rigorous school. So please look at our bell work today, or do now. I sent you overnight an assignment, a little homework to look up a movie called Haunted Heist. What did you think? So look at the questions there for our bell work. What did you think of the cast and crew of the film? Anybody got some takers here?
I do.
Tell me, Mr. Bebe.
I seen the cast and I did not get excited. I don't like Tiffany Haddish, so seeing that she was in it already like threw me to a point. I was like, okay, not gonna work. I'm just not a fan of. I've never been a fan of her. I think she could be funny at times, but for me, she's just annoying. I don't know how to put it that way, but I like the premise of this movie. It's different, and I like different. So I will love the premise. I don't like the cast.
I you know what? I actually agree. That's one of the reasons I selected the movie, besides another reason that I'm going to get to a little bit later. But I read the premise and I went like, oh, this is different and this is exciting. Then I started seeing who's involved. And just like you, I was not excited at all. But what about you, Miss Ace? Were you excited?
No, not at all. Looking at the cast, I feel like, yeah, the only well-known name that comes to me is Tiffany Haddish, and I do not have a good connotation with her name. So, I mean, it just seems pretty unremarkable. The premise is, something that it just feels kind of plain. Like, unless they throw a wrench in here somehow, I'm not on board.
I have to agree.
My problem with the premise, and one of the things that I've noticed about this movie, is that it's teetering close on things that other movies have done.
Yes.
And when it comes to some horror movies, you can get away with that. Not in comedy though. and we'll get to why in a moment. I just think like okay, you've retreaded some stuff, but you go like, hey, horror cliche, but it's fun. But in comedy, like you got to bring it because now you're adding some layers to your movie. And I feel like I've seen better black horror comedies in general, and
Oh, for
this
sure.
doesn't look like it. Would you all agree with that?
I've seen The
Yeah.
Blackening.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yes.
Tommy, you got me to watch The Black.
Yes.
And that shit was hilarious.
It was
Like,
so funny.
Tales from the Hood.
Yeah,
Hello.
Tales from
Yeah.
the Hood. Fucking Bones. I know it wasn't a comedy, but it was fucking Snoop Dogg. That's a comedy right there. Snoop Dogg is playing a fucking demon. But The Blackening, I felt weird laughing at the jokes because I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. Like they're making that whole and then the reasoning that it was all going down, which if you haven't seen The Blackening, just skip the next like 10 seconds. It was because
go
of
watch
a
it.
game of spades. And I'm like, that's hilarious. That's so black.
Yes.
like white guys sitting there going, that's fucking funny. Like, that's just got me. Love that movie. So funny.
No,
They're making a part
I
2.
agree.
they are?
Yes.
They are. I didn't know.
Yeah, they
See, I'm
confirmed-
more
they
excited
confirmed-
about
they confirmed
that.
a part
That's
2.
more
Me too.
exciting.
That's way more
Yes.
excited than Haunted
No.
Heist.
Yeah, Haunted Heist. Like when I saw this, I saw the news. I went like, okay. So I'm reading this. I was not excited at all, and then I realized like horror comedy is not easy to do. Like it's not easy to do. Like you're already horror is difficult. Comedy is difficult. Blending the two together to create something unique, very hard. You know, one movie that I think does it well is Demon Knight, which is the movie that we're going to be talking about today, class. Okay, so I'm just going to give you quick background information about this movie for everybody at home and for the class here, and then we'll talk about it. You got it assigned for you over the weekend so you could watch it. This film was originally written in the 80s by Mark Bishop. It was supposed to be directed by Tom Holland, director of Child's Play.
That'd been wild.
Then it passed from director, then it passed from director to director. Eventually reaching Joel Silver, who was producer of Tales from the Crypt, and then they gave it to Ethan Reef and Cyrus, not the virus, Voris, and they would go. These are the guys who actually created the Kung Fu Panda universe. Yes, the Kung Fu Panda writers are the ones who actually wrote this fucking movie. This is why this
Hello?
movie's fucking amazing. Yes.
Good douche.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
They also hired the director Ernest Dickerson, who went on to do some respectable television directing, but he's an African American director. He's one of those first. He's not the first, but he's one of those first African American directors to tackle a big Hollywood horror project. This story is not based off of any EC Comics. EC Comics is where the Tales from the Crypt show is adapted. EC Comics were horror comics from the 50s. But at the end of the day, Tales from the Crypt have this insane vibe with, horror, blood, gore, nudity, comedy, schlocky, all of that. And they just looked at the script and were like, we'll just need to adapt it and tweak it a little bit, and we can make it work. And the movie was a box office hit, doubling its budget, but was critically panned, but grew a substantial cult following because of its Billy Zane performance. It's a horror film directed by an African American director. The Nostalgia Critic reviewed it. That also gave it some big traction, and being considered the best Tales from the Crypt movie. And a lot of people don't know this. This is the first horror movie with a black final girl.
I didn't know that.
Yes, this is a first in history. So, having done this little quick survey and background class, what is your history with Tales from the Crypt, and what did you think of this movie, Mr. Bebe?
I used to watch Tales from the Crypt when I was younger. Now, the thing is my mommy and my daddy didn't like me watching bad movies like Well, I'm not gonna say bad. Well, they didn't like me watching bad movies, but they didn't like me watching the scary stuff too, because I was kind of a little bitch when I was a little kid. I was a little bitch. So Tales from the Crypt used to come on like late at night, like around 11 o'clock, and I wouldn't be able to watch it when I was home because we only had one television, and my parents are not watching Tales from the Crypt. Unfortunately, what they didn't know was that anytime I went over to my friend's house, who lived downstairs, and I used to go over all the time over the weekends and stuff, we used to watch Tales from the Crypt. And have I had moments where I got scared? Yes, I did. I had plenty of moments where I got scared. But I grew love for it. And, my first introduction to horror anyway was Jaws. But that to me, because it wasn't like the story. It was the Crypt Keeper. He scared the shit out of me when I was a little kid. I was like, that guy's scary. But he's also like funny. And he's fun. And he's, oh, hello, kitties. Like all that type of shit. So now, first off, watching Tales from the Crypt, you can't find it. You can't find it anywhere. It's not streaming anywhere.
No.
You cannot purchase. There's only DVDs, and it's on eBay. So, and I think it's because whoever owns the rights to it doesn't want it to get remastered because, it needs that grainy, that old school 90s vibe, that the early 90s type of vibe.
Gets you all cozy and warm inside when you see it.
Right. You got to sit there and be like, yeah, this is right.
Like
this is how I'm supposed to watch it. Like, I got to watch it the right way. So I used to be able to go from like X-Files to Tales from the Crypt. Now, the second question was, what did I think about this movie?
Yes.
I own this fucking movie.
Yes.
I love this fucking movie. This movie's great.
Who introduced you to this movie?
You did. We did a long time ago. We did an episode. We discussed, and you brought this movie up, and I'm like, I've never seen that, and you were like, you got to watch it, and I watched it. You were here while we watched it.
Yes,
you were here. We turned it on, and I was like, where have I been? This is great. And Billy Zane at that point, he might have had a child, but this is before he had a child. And holy shit, I became a Zaniac at that moment. I was like, I love this guy. I love him.
Yes.
I love him. He's fucking amazing. So yeah, I love this movie.
Well, what about you, Miss Ace? What's your story with Tales from the Crypt, and what did you think about this movie?
Well, my background with Tales of the Crypt is mostly from Mama Ace. Tommy had the fortune of meeting Mama Ace, and Mama Ace is the one that got me into horror at a very young age. She did not give two shits whether I was scared or not. She said, "Oh my God, you haven't seen this? You're gonna see this." I remember her and I going to an estate sale and finding like an EC comic of Tales from the Crypt, and unfortunately was missing the whole back half of it. But I was very interested, and I remember going, "What the heck is this?" And she goes, "Oh my God, you don't know Tales from the Crypt." And of course, that leads her down a very, very bumpy road of her showing me things that I probably shouldn't have seen. But she was very right to not let me see this movie after watching it. She was very right not to let me see this movie at the age of 6. But I do remember seeing.
Yes.
Good job, Mama Ace. Good job. Because Sky was there while I was watching it. And,
oh no!
And it was Uncle Willie's part. And Sky looked up and I said, "Stop looking up."
I
was like, "That's
a lot of
that's a lot of boobies."
Mama Ace just went, "Absolutely not. You're gonna watch this. You're not gonna watch this movie." But I do remember seeing it at Blockbuster. Believe it or not, forever and ever ago. Blockbuster was still our safe haven on Friday nights. But I do remember seeing a bit of Tales from the Crypt specifically, and I had to look up this episode too because I couldn't remember the name of it. But season 1, episode 2 of All Through the House.
Okay.
With the axe murdering Santa. Yep. I remember seeing that.
I remember vaguely the premise, but I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah. I remember seeing that episode specifically at somebody's house and just going, "Wow, Santa Claus is crazy. I'm scared of Santa now." So of course, the long rating history of that. And thank God for Mama Ace. But you know what? I wish she would have shown me this movie sooner. Not the ripe age of 6, but sooner. Because I absolutely downright love this movie. I completely understand why you own it, Tommy, and I was looking and purchasing it myself because I just can't get enough of the Zaniac, okay? Like, I need more Billy Zane, specifically Demon Knight Billy Zane.
Hell Yeah.
This was such a treat.
Hell yes. So, would you say that this movie, and let's just say it, this movie is insane, as in it is carried in Billy Zane's shoulders.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
because let me tell you, the moment he says, "Humans, you're not worth the flesh you're printed on. Fuck this cowboy shit. You fucking ho-dunk, po-dunk, will them there, motherfuckers."
Motherfucker.
Oh my
I
god,
fucking love it.
that movie becomes his, like, that motherfucker. Like, he based his performance off of Genie, right? What do y'all
Yes,
think of?
he said that. Yes.
That's beautiful.
hmm
Yeah, like, what were some of your favorite parts with Billy Zane? Like, what did you enjoy? Let's start with you, Sabrina, because you were new to this movie. You're new. Like, Tommy and me have seen it at least twice or more, but this is your first time. Like, how did you take the Zane? Like, tell me.
There were so many parts where I had to pause the movie and just go, "I'm sorry," and then immediately hit play again, but in the best of ways. For instance, in the beginning of the movie, and of course, spoilers for those who haven't seen it, please go and watch this movie and then come back to this episode. But you see him, walking away from the car fire with his duster and his cowboy hat. And I'm thinking, that's one badass motherfucker. And then he gets to the point you're talking about where he says, "Fuck this cowboy shit, podunk, motherfuckers, whatever." And I'm just like, I'm sorry, you're not a cool cowboy? What the fuck are you? And as he's going on, you flesh out his character a little bit and you realize that he's like trying to, coax people in through desires, what their innermost soul desires. There's one scene in particular where he's looking up at what is her name? Cordelia in the window.
Oh yes,
Yes.
yes.
And my boyfriend and I just kind of look at each other and go, "What is this boy band ass looking music video scene going on here where you see his hand reaching up?" And we both started singing like Boys to Men.
Yes.
Specifically because I'm like, this is legitimately like a scene from a boy band music video, and I fucking love it. What is happening right now? He's like talking
You
to her through the
belong
mic.
to me.
Yes.
Mhm.
To the
He's just like
end
reaching
of
up
the
like,
road.
1,000%.
I was like, this boy band ass looking at Zane. I'm in love with him. He's so hot. I love
him. I saw
I
that
love
scene
him.
too, and I was like, he's adorable.
He's a gem.
And
Protect him
and
at all
then
costs.
he uses that sexy voice, like,
Yeah.
Cordelia.
He's just like, a woman is pretty. No. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
That's you. I'm like, huh! My heart.
I'm a guy, and I was like, that was strong.
I was like, fuck, dude.
Oh no, that was
I'd be
a
sold.
line. Let me tell you.
That was a
And he
line
uses that line
delivery.
later and he says, "I know it sounds like a line. One that I've regrettably
It
used
is.
before.
Yeah,
but I
one-
need you to know it's true." And I'm like, okay, dude.
One that I've
Like, I'm not
regrettably
trying to get
used
knocked up.
before.
Calm down.
Oh, he's so great in this.
Oh my
movie.
God.
He really is. He's a character.
He is.
He's a character he's in the wrong movie, first off.
He
He's in
goes
it.
from like
Yeah.
charming to like
Yeah.
suave to absolutely batshit insane to like smooth again to absolutely insane again. I'm like, this man,
He's got range.
I don't. Who's he playing in this movie? Everyone.
Yeah, he's just
Yes!
You
It's
remember-
a one-man cast of Billy
like,
Zane,
yeah,
and I still love it.
You gotta try to explain it to a person and be like, you ever watch a Looney Tunes cartoon? Yeah.
Yes.
So Billy Zane's in this movie and he's all the Looney Tunes. Like every single one of them. Like, does he switch off like different tunes? No, he's all of them. And they just kind of
At the
come out
same time.
at the same fucking time. He's fucking Bugs to Tweety to Daffy to fucking who was
Elmer
Elmer
Fudd.
Fudd.
Elmer Fudd.
Yosemite Sam.
Yeah,
He's
Yosemite
Yosemite Sam
Sam.
the minute he gets out of the car and just throws his duster coat. I'm like, oh, okay, cool cowboy.
Like, look at it. He's a cat. How about the
You lured
fact
me
that
in, and then you fucking lured me in even more, and now I'm sitting on your lap going, what the fuck is happening?
With the douchiest southern accent in the world.
How about
Going
the
when he
fact-
tells Uncle Willie,
Oh my God.
um, Uncle Willie, Willie, there he gone there and put something awful in that key. Would you mind pouring it out? And he gives the sleaziest smile
Oh
as
my
he's
god.
doing it. You go like, we love you, Billy Zane.
Yes.
Well, because also in the beginning of the movie, like just to get into the meat and potatoes a little bit, it kind of shows like, oh, he's trying to retrieve something back that was stolen from him. Maybe he's not
Yes.
the bad guy.
They play it
And
off very
easily
well.
that immediately. So where he's just like,
Yes.
he looks like he put something in there. I was like, why couldn't he just take it and pour it out? I didn't know shit. I'm just looking at this going, oh, first time watch. This is beautiful. Okay, what's he after? And it's just kind of like, why can't he touch it? Why wouldn't he just pour it out? So the cheese on his
Oh, and we-
face as things unravel, for me to see that cheese on his face in the beginning and go back to that, knowing what I know now, I'm like, that was perfect.
Yeah.
He's a classic
Yes.
con man.
Yes. He's the
And
he's a
the-
demon.
He's like the snake oil
Yes,
salesman that comes to your door in the middle of the night, but
He
he's
is
good
so-
at that.
Yes.
He's so amazing. And I think one thing I wanted to say was I believe the director, what's his name? Dickerson.
Ernest Dickerson.
Ernest
yeah.
Dickerson knows Billy Zane's badass. Because
Oh, yeah.
while they were,
Yeah.
editing this film, when the movie starts with "Hey Man, nice shot" by Filter, and when you get to the hook part, which is "Hey Man," it shows Billy Zane, and he looks like a bad motherfucker with his cowboy hat on. He's
Oh, yeah.
driving. It looked like a fucking nice ass fucking car. And he's just following fucking Will Sadler. Like he's just like coming to get this motherfucker.
Yeah.
But in a not in like a evil way. It's just very calm, just like
He's so chill about everything.
it's like I'm just gonna get you.
He's like, we can do this all day. You're the one making it hard.
That's how
Like, we're just-
that's
And
how
the
he
fact that-
portrayed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the way he's dressed like white, at the beginning, like he looks, it looks white, so he looks like the good guy. Like even the color coding, because Bill Sadler's dressed all in black,
Yes.
Yeah.
and then Billy Zane's dressed in these nice white robes. So you're switching up the whole thing. So when you're the audience member, you're thinking, oh yeah, Bill. Because then Bill Sadler, and we'll talk about him a little bit more later, but then he offers the kid, hey kid, want a shiny new quarter?
Oh my God.
Shiny quarter.
Looking
Dad,
like
he's
the
out there stealing your
creepiest,
car. I'm just like,
like this creepiest motherfucking dude. And then here in comes Billy Zane looking like the suave superhero.
he's like, hey, we're gonna
we gotta
get that
get-
guy.
Yeah,
He
he's,
almost stole
just
your
a
car. Don't
low-life-
worry, we'll bring him
yeah.
to justice. It's like, wait,
That's a bad man.
But
yeah.
but then it hits when he switches and punches that guy through the face.
Oh,
we can talk about
My
My God.
God. Let me bring you back to the first time that I watched this movie. I don't know what to expect. And Billy Zane's walking away, because they're going to arrest him too, because that car that he had was also stolen. Okie dokie.
Yeah.
How
Something's
did they not die? Thank goodness for airbags. Anyway,
Yeah, that was it. Thank goodness for airbags.
airbags. No, let's go.
But the fact that when he turns around and punches the sheriff in the face and his hand goes through his face, I was watching it with Big Money over here, and I was like, what? Like, what am I watching? Oh, and then Big Money goes, it gets better. It gets what? It gets better? Okay, I'm in. Let's go. I was for the ride at that moment. Holy shit, does he fucking deck that man?
He decked him into the afterlife.
And then he pulled his
He
head
went
off.
through his skull
And pulled his head off
and then
because he couldn't
used
get his
his
hand
skull
out.
to punch the next guy.
Yeah. And then he threw it and said, heads up.
Yeah.
yes.
Heads up.
What the fuck is that? Oh my God.
Cheesy
Heads up.
dialogue. Like cheesy
Yes.
dialogue, but because it's delivered a certain way, it makes you like I wish I was in the theater when this came out. Because those people
Yeah, me
had to
too.
be rolling.
I was too.
Like you were you weren't allowed in the theater at that point.
I mean, if I
For that
was,
movie.
people would scoff at my mom for me crying because it's too loud.
That's true. Shut that child up.
Please, she
You know,
has a
what a-
child.
She has a child.
I have a child.
I have a child. I have a child.
Oh, but once that happens in the movie, because the movie's smart about it sets up a mystery, but until that punch to the face happens, every character is introduced. So you don't are not drawn immediately to Billy Zane. Okay, um, you're not immediately drawn to
Sadler.
anybody. What you do, yeah, Sadler. My bad. I lost track because it was a pop up notification in my computer. Um, so immediately you get to meet all the cast of characters. Okay, and what a cast of characters. Um, and they interact so well with each other. They interact so well with Billy Zane. Um, like for example, you have Bill Sadler, which we already mentioned as Breaker, who is so if Billy Zane's the Demon Knight per se, the Collector per se, Bill Sadler is a group of people who have inherited the blood of Christ. Spoilers throughout history. And Bill Sadler, we know from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey and Die Hard and
Hell
a
yeah.
bunch of other movies.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Then you have Jada Pinkett Smith, just Jada Pinkett, as Jeryline, the chosen one. And, we know her from the Oscar slap fiasco. That's probably her most famous role in film history. And we also know her from The Matrix and being married to Will Smith. We also have CCH Pounder, who plays Irene, the badass motel owner, who is so fucking
Yo.
badass.
Very
Not
badass.
only is she so badass in this movie, she's badass in Justice League as Amanda Waller. We have Dick Miller, who's in as Uncle Willie, the lovable drunk, who's in every Roger Corman and Joe Johnston movie ever.
Mm-hmm.
But probably people already know him from Gremlins and Small Soldiers. We know Thomas Hayden Church as Roach, the sleazy asshole, who's the smug sleazeball in every movie, including this one, but also George of the Jungle and Spider-Man 3. Charles Fleischer, who was as Wally, the wacko postman, who was Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. That's
Roger Rabbit is in this movie.
Roger Rabbit is in this movie.
Yes, and then
Very,
the little
very
kid Danny.
subdued.
Well, subdued. We'll talk about it when we.
If
'cause
he's Roger
subdued
Rabbit,
is
because
not-
he actually isn't Roger Rabbit in here. Billy Zane is
No,
Roger
he
Rabbit.
isn't. Yes, but
Billy
he
Zane
is
takes on his role
insane.
for him.
He is still insane though, because when they find his crate with all his stuff, we'll get there.
I was rolling
The
my
little
eyes
kid-
so hard I could see my brain. Sorry.
Don't worry. Danny, the comic book reading kid, not that important of an actor, but he's young Kovu from Lion King, which Lion King 2, which is really fun. I love that movie. But random fact, this kiddo's already a grandpa. And yeah, that's it. And of course, Deputy Bob, who's played by Gary Farmer, and that's basically the whole cast of characters who's in that house with Billy Zane interacting. So, what y'all think of these characters? Favorite moments alone? Favorite moments with Billy Zane? What y'all got, Mr. Bebe?
I mean, I think all these characters are fantastic. Everyone is good in this movie. Everybody
Yes.
does a great job. Obviously, they are not even close to Billy Zane, but they do phenomenal. And I love Uncle Willie. His scene is glorious. Very, very glorious. Lots
Yes.
of boobs.
Yes.
And,
A lot of 80s and 90s boobs in this movie, which are not the same as modern day boobs, kiddos.
No, total different boobs in this kind of a movie. But here's the thing. His part with Billy Zane is flawless because of Billy Zane.
Yes.
Because when Billy Zane turns around and he's got the hat on and the sunglasses and the little cigarette in his mouth, and Willie, you should try some of it was a hard wood or some shit like that. He's like, he'll get you fucked up. Just like, and they drop the F-bomb and you're like, oh,
Yes.
very nice. I like that. That was very good. They all
I
did a really
remember the
good
first
job.
time you watched that movie. That part, when you saw that for the first time, you just when he just spins around and goes like, Uncle Willie. you just died. You just covered your face and was dying.
Because it's so good. Like he's got the face on like this, and this is how you know Billy Zane is such a bad motherfucker. Most people take out the cigarette or cigar and throw it. He spits it out. He went
Yes.
poof, and you're like, did that fucking guy just spit out a fucking? I don't know. I'm assuming it was a small cigar or a cigarette, but.
Yeah.
He spits it out and then he smirks at him. And you're like, that's at that moment where he's like, got him, like, bang, fucking got him. But I think everybody was really good in this movie. And I'm not the biggest Jada fan, but she's really good in this movie. She's top tier. She is a bad bitch in this movie. And I mean, I don't know, man. Everybody was so good. Everyone had their moment. That's the other thing. Everybody had their moment to shine.
Yes.
There was no
wholeheartedly.
backward character. Everybody had that moment to shine, but nobody
had a
outshine
cool
Billy
moment.
Zane. Nobody's outshining Billy Zane.
No. What about you, Miss Ace? What about you?
Ooh. Again, I have to agree. Every character had their moment to stand out. And I was making little notes on certain characters, and it's just really funny character moments where you see kind of where they are in moments. For instance, when Irene sees the cat on the table and she says, "Get that person off the table," and Cordelia jumps off. I'm like, yo.
Yeah, very nice.
It had me fucking laughing. I was like, what? Wait, which one
phenomenal
did she
writing.
mean?
Phenomenal
She goes,
writing.
I was talking about the cat.
Yeah,
It's like
I was talking about the cat.
that little character moment for me, like everyone has their little character moments, but that was the first one that came up that I was like,
It's like, you know what
okay.
movie you're in now. You're like, I'm in
locked
this movie.
into this.
This
This
is
is
good.
great.
I
These
love,
characters are
the
great.
dialogue.
Oh my god. And I remember writing in my book, Wally is unfortunately a cuck.
Yes.
I'm just watching him and just going, taking notes. Wally is unfortunately a cuck.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. And so knowing what we know later with him,
that's
I'm like,
why he's so insane.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
he was
he
going
knows
to blow
everything.
up
He
that
just doesn't
post
care.
office.
He works for the post office. Not only was he reading their mail, he was going to go postal. But that's besides the point. That's
wild.
Wally. He's the nice guy, He's the nice character. He's the safe, nice guy. He's not.
We find out about this after he sacrificed himself to help Cordelia. So
Yes.
you've already built this whole
he's the
empathy
savior
for
of her
this
knight in
character.
shining armor. She just needs to go
He's
with him
this
and
dude.
he'd take
He's
care
this
of
dude in the
her.
friend zone. So which goes to show no motherfucker who claims is in the friend zone is a good person. Okay.
I can relate to that.
Just say, yeah, dude, they're probably crazy. You just don't know it because they know how to hide it well. Like Wally. Wally was actually going to blow up that post office.
Yes.
He was actually going to do it.
I don't understand how blowing up the post office correlates to I love Cordelia, but that's a whole nother level of Delulu that I can't understand, and I refuse to understand it.
Well, that's why we call it insanity, right? Because the mental steps to it are insane.
Yeah.
For me, it was Roach. I mean, all of them. Like
Roach
you mentioned,
with
one of
the
my favorites.
Battery was my favorite
Yes!
fucking
Oh,
part.
yeah, that was good.
Where he says, "My nipples are smoking."
My nipples are smoking. Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off.
You guys, we're talking about character moments. That little character moment where he's just so enjoying it until he's caught, and she just leaves it on too long, and the first thing you hear is, "My nipples are smoking." Fucking lost it.
I like that the cop though. He waits because he sees what's going on because he can hear it, and he's like he smirks. He's like, I know it's gonna go. Get down! And he comes in. Get out of here! They're like, ah!
Get your clothes on now.
Get your clothes on now! Like holy fuck! And then once we're done here, you guys can go back to whatever weird thing you were doing.
Which you were doing for free, right? My favorite thing was also a little moment like that. I have a few moments with Roach that I'm going to get to, but one that was really funny was when Jeryline was washing Cordelia's bed sheets
Oh yeah.
And she says the stains can't get you. I can't get rid of them stains. And then Cordelia says, "Damn guacamole." You go like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what happened with the guacamole?
I was like, I need the story on that. Go back a minute.
What
What
happened?
happened
I
with
need
the
a
guac?
backstory, please. Backstory on this.
And apparently she uses all types of props. She has a car battery. She has guacamole.
Listen, she's ready for any client that walks in that has specific needs. She's like, "Oh, you're into some weird shit. I got you. You like guac? I got guac.
But we can
you
work
want
with
chips
that.
with that?"
We could totally work with this.
Oh,
She's a
oh my!
crazy bitch.
She's a professional. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. She is a professional. She was going to give out a freebie too. So
Yeah, she asked if she should give Wally a freebie. And
Mhm.
honestly, I just went,
And
"Oh, does that mean he's paid for it before?
Yeah,
Was he the guacamole incident?"
oh,
it might be.
he might be. Wally likes guacamole.
He looks like he would use guacamole as a lube or something like
Oh
that.
God,
I'm scared.
But that's Roger Rabbit we're talking about.
Yes. So
That's
going off
terrible.
of this is terrible. One of my favorite with Roach. Roach has like two lines that I really enjoy. The first one is where he goes like, this hell on earth thing, big deal. Try hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
Random ass line.
No. Apparently, his hemorrhoids are worse than the end of the world.
He was-
Is what I'm hearing. So
Yeah.
I
his
got
type of
hemorrhoids.
hemorrhoids, maybe he shouldn't be using a car battery for things. Okay.
You're like, what?
It's
You
making
got
him clench too much.
Oh, he's Thomas Hayden Church though, doing his thing. Keep being a dipshit sleazeball. But it works. But it works.
Yes, it works. And my other line that I enjoy is when he's all that is happening when he's making a deal with Billy Zane, and in comes Billy Zane again into this fantabulous movie. Makes you feel good, don't it? When he's because Roach is betraying the whole team, like
He didn't even have to be persuaded with anything. It was pretty much just, "I'll let you
No,
leave."
from the
And he was like,
beginning.
"Sweet."
Yeah, he was down from the beginning. He's like, just give him the key.
They go like, it's the end of the world. Who cares?
Yeah, he don't give a
And
fuck. He just got
It
laid.
doesn't affect me.
But
End of the
key
world.
that
I
holds
will
the
be
blood
here.
the key that holds the blood of Christ. He knows it has the blood of Christ. Like
Yeah.
he knows. Like it's not like he doesn't know what it has.
We were
And
just
then
told
the
this
blood had
backstory.
actually. Yes. So this whole thing is has been blessing the whole staircase. It's blocking demons from coming in. And Billy Zane, in one of my favorite moments with Billy Zane, just goes like, and just
His
takes out a
sponge.
sponge from his mouth.
In
And
a-
it's a
in a-
practical effect too.
But he does it in a very slick, sly way too. Like you were like, that was smooth, bro.
Listen, he holds it out for him to take. Like he doesn't even take it out and hand it to him.
And he gets
So
the
when he
eyebrows
holds
go
it
up.
out, I was like, I would take that sponge from Billy Zane.
Like, okay, Billy.
Okay. Just
But then when he takes it out, though, when he takes it out of his mouth, he spits it. He goes because I guess he
and
must.
then he smiled.
Yeah, then he smiles. I think he had a little bit of the sponge in his mouth when he spit it out, and then he was just like, oh, that was nasty.
But it's so funny because my question for Billy Zane is, you've done that before, haven't you? Because that was really good. That was like unreal. Because
How many
it was
times do
his
you think he
idea, actually.
practiced?
It was his idea. So I don't know how many times he practiced it, but it was his idea to the director. He went like, why don't I give him the sponge like from my mouth, like as a gag? And because he was into this character like big time.
No,
And you wouldn't be able to tell if you watched it.
no, you would never know.
And he gave the suggestion. So it's my question is like, what did Billy do? Look, what has he done with this?
I feel
Has
like
he
Billy
impressed
is
girls
led-
going like,
Watch
Oh,
me.
absolutely.
You-
I feel
come
like he's
on,
led
you-
such a life that he's
Yeah.
just like, he has these little like sleight of hand tricks that he can do that he's just like, you want to see a magic trick?
You got to think he's gone with some chicks after this movie. In the future, he's on with some girls. There's got to be plenty of them that are like, "Could you do the sponge thing?" And he's probably
I would
like,
ask him.
And he's like, yeah. It just comes out. Could you sign it too? Fine. Uncle Willie. He is so great in this. I love when he goes on when he walks up the steps and he's like, and he's just like a happy guy. He got the key. He's like, yeah, man, anybody here? Hello.
Everyone can come out now.
Come on and play.
Everybody can come out now. Hello. Just like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Billy Zane is in Who Framed Roger Rabbit in this movie. Like, you're like,
and
Billy,
he is Roger Rabbit and
he's
Judge
Roger
Doom.
Rabbit. Yes, he's Roger Rabbit
time.
and Judge Doom at the same time. He is in the wrong movie right now, but I'm glad that he is in this movie because
he's in the wrong movie, but the right movie.
Yes, he's in the wrong movie
also
and the
at
right
the same
movie
time.
at the same time while being a Looney Tune character, while being Roger Rabbit and Judge Doom. But here's like my biggest thing. I started to think if anybody else played this role, would it work? And then
that's a good question.
But then I thought about it and I was like, no. I even if you put Robin Williams in there, which is technically what he was taking from, I don't think it would. I think it's just the way Billy Zane is doing it, where you're like, this. I'm sorry, he's the guy. He's great.
I agree because it's his voice. It's a mixture of his voice. He has a threatening voice. He has a seductive voice. He can be a silly voice. Like I've seen Robin Williams threatening, and Robin Williams threatening is just angry. I've never seen him be like, like threatening in a silent way that's not creepy, like in 1 hour photo. Like, and even then he's screaming there. So the ability to go on from 0 to 100 to 1,000, like Billy Zane has that range. So I agree. Like nobody else could have done this role. Not in a million years. Speaking of which, I wanted to talk about the story because we kind of hinted at the story and everything. And I wanted to ask everybody, like, did the story flow well for you? Okay, obviously, how fun was it? Did you have some issues with the story? We already talked about this, but did that initial mystery work for you? Like who was the good guy, who was the bad guy? As a Tales from the Crypt movie, did it stay true to its origins? Did the story make sense within its own rules? Right, because every story needs to be taken into consideration with its own rules.
Mm-hmm.
And add me what else drew your attention, because in Night School Horror we like to dissect these movies in detail. So Miss Ace, let's start with you.
Well, I feel like the story fit very well within itself. Like, I really didn't have any issues with it. I just found, like, the whole backstory of the key and the blood a little boring, but that's just me. The way it was delivered, it wasn't delivered by Billy Zane, is probably my biggest issue. Is like, I would have liked to hear that backstory delivered by Billy Zane. Instead, we get flashbacks all throughout the movie, and you're like, yeah, okay, I get it. You're showing me the same flashbacks. And then finally we see a different flashback, and I'm like, oh, so he was chosen. Okay, so clearly something else has to happen in this lineage. So it kind of gives way for the rest of the movie. I did have one issue. Just one tiny little issue that I can't get past. What fucking shower do they have that shower can take blood stains out of white shirts immediately?
I was actually thinking about that as I was watching.
Was instant. Like, he throws her in the shower. She's covered in blood. He throws her in the shower, and all of that blood just comes right up. I'm like, whatever fucking magical ass shower they have, I need it.
That's the
But
shower.
other than that, if that's my only issue with this movie, I'll take it. I'll take it. This was fantastic. I mean, the story itself, as far as needing 7 in the beginning when he said, I don't know, or I didn't know what it was until they brought the sheriffs in. I'm like, oh, so you weren't planning on finding someone and it just happened that way. Which still makes for an interesting story because like it could have just been another person that he found later on down the line. He just saw everything line up and realized it had to happen tonight.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes. Adding one detail to what you said, and not a lot of people catch up to this. Do you know the name of the town that they're in?
No, I remembered it was like the hotel, but I don't
Wormwood.
remember the town.
The
Wormwood.
town is Wormwood, which is the third trumpet from from Revelation.
Hmm.
He's taking all these things into consideration. The film is playing on different levels. When you're going through it, like uh, the mere fact that it's a town called Wormwood. That's the third trumpet. It's seven people. Like he's looking at all these like imagery that's showing up that's aligning, and he goes like, "Oh, now is the time." Like it's peculiar details like that that make the movie work because somebody is paying attention to the details, which to me, when you're writing something, that is super important. Mr. Baby, what about you?
I enjoy the story for what it is. I don't think it's the greatest story I've ever seen on screen before. It's a pretty simple story. You know, we have a beginning, we have a middle, we have an end. So we don't have like the craziest twists over. I guess the big twist really is that it's in the key, it's Jesus's blood. That's like your big, like, oh, that makes sense kind of moment. You know, but I feel like they didn't try to go too far. They didn't try to go too small either. They said they stayed safe in the story line of what they were trying to create, which is fine because this is not from a Tales from the Crypt comic. This was created for it to be a movie. So and if I'm gonna, put on my the critical glasses here, it makes sense why the movie did not do well at the box office. But it's a cult classic film, and most of the time for cult classic movies are because they're wild, they're a little crazy. The cast itself is like gets you involved. This movie, if you remove a character or remove an actor, this is a different movie. So
Yes.
I don't know how I would feel if somebody else played the role of Billy Zane's character of the Collector. I don't know if the movie would have been as enjoyable because it is a bomb, 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 bomb. It's a simple step. So utilizing the zaniness to it is what makes his character actually interesting, and it draws you in, which is technically what his character does anyway. It draws you in. So if you remove him, you might have a totally different movie that's probably not as good. So again,
No,
it's simple.
I agree.
Yeah, it is a simple premise. They didn't try to shoot for the stars on this one. They weren't fucking trying to hit a fucking homer on this one. They were like, we're going to keep it simple, and our cast is going to fucking make this movie, fucking awesome. And that's what did it. This was a movie where the acting in it, all of them are into it. They're all invested in this movie, and it shows while you're watching it. So, yeah. But
No,
again,
piggyback
not a
off
bad
that
one.
real quick.
Yeah.
It's interesting because when you remove Billy Zane from it, if you gave it to somebody else, I feel like they would make it a little too serious and it would take the comedy
Yes.
straight out of it. Like, you're right, it does make it a completely different movie. And when I'm thinking back to it, it's like, you need Billy Zane for that role. There is nobody else. And that simple storyline, you don't need any big embellishments with it because you have the characters that bring it to life. You
Mhm.
have the characters that make it funny or believable or disbelievable or give you that mystery. You can essentially say like, "Oh yeah, we're on a train. It's a straightforward railroad to, one city to the other. Go." And they would still make it interesting because of that cast.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I you know what? That is well put. Like that is very true. One of the things about the script and the story that I enjoyed and something that I don't enjoy from the story, right? Is that something that I enjoy is the attention to details, right? When somebody's writing a story, which I alluded to with the Wormwood thing, I love when authors just take their time to just go through the motions of interconnecting everything. You have time to write a script. Do it. Take the time to see if it fits. take the time to connect these characters. Just to give you a small, like the small detail from Wormwood, an example of another supernatural thing, and then something from characters. Um, yes, obviously we're dealing with demons, so obviously the holy would be able to repel them. And you go like, yes, that makes sense. Jesus' blood would obviously do that. Obviously, which, by the way, FYI, the Nun copied this movie. Just saying. Uh, the first Nun movie. But then you go because it's something that I mentioned in Long Legs, and I want to bring it here. It's in Long Legs, you don't have that supernatural element, yet you have a gun shooting at a doll that uh, evaporates, and you go like, how does that work in a movie? Well, in this movie, they actually explain it. You shoot their eyes, and you go like, why the eyes? Oh, because the eyes are the windows to the soul. Oh, see, those little details add up to make a movie enjoyable. Now, do I think they do a great job with the story? I think it's very basic, like Tommy said, and I think it works as a if it. I would say two things. I would piggy off of what you said about the cast, including Billy Zane, but everybody else also adds to the whole vibe of the movie. But obviously, Billy Zane would be number one. But I would also say if it was not a Tales from the Crypt presents, it's also it would also have some points taken against it. But knowing what it is, that it's a Tales from the Crypt movie, gives it space to be goofier, funnier, and simple as it is.
Agreed.
Because
Yeah,
if it
agreed.
was not, if it was something else, you go like, really, in the 1990s, you're writing such a simple story, but it's Tales from the Crypt. The comics are from the 50s. What do you expect?
Right.
Like the imagery is 90s, but the stories are from the 50s. And the movie, even though it has 90s imagery, especially Uncle Willie's temptation, which we'll get to in a moment with all the temptations, but uh, the story is very by the books 1950s, and it makes total sense. I'll give you one last detail, a character detail that maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't notice. Who gave Bill Sadler the keys to the room?
The war general guy, or no, the room, the keys to the
The
room.
keys to
Yeah,
the
room. The
room.
room.
I
Yeah,
mean,
the keys to the
technically,
room.
it was Irene that gave them to.
She gave him to Jada Pinkett.
Yeah,
And Jada Pinkett gave him the keys, and
Yes.
yeah, she
eventually
tossed
she's
it
the
at
one
him.
who gets the key,
And then she gets the key.
and she's the one who, and she gets the key
Ah.
from Christ at the end. So the little details like that add up. Like I was mentioning, story wise, like you see talent behind who's writing this. Like you can see why these people eventually do Kung Fu Panda. But yeah, anything to add before we move on to something else that I wanted to talk about? Because I'm going to put you in an interesting scenario in a moment.
Just one thing. Why the fuck did they go back for Danny?
Danny done
The whole
fucked
time,
shit up.
the whole time I'm watching, I'm just like, first of all, why is this kid in the fucking mines? Like, how did he get there? And then he says, "Oh, well, I ran." It's like, and you ran into the mines?
Yeah. I
Well,
ran
like
into the
I'm
mine.
everybody
confused
does.
by your
Have you never
story here.
have you never ran to the mines, Miss
The last
Ace?
time I did that, I got in trouble. So no, I don't run into the mines anymore.
I don't run to the mines anymore.
Not anymore. I don't yearn for the
Okay.
mines. But I was just so
Okay.
confused by that. So why the fuck did they go back? Like bad
To be
idea.
really honest, just doing a quick segue into what you just said, I do agree that I think that Danny's the weakest part of this movie for me.
Yeah, they didn't need him.
Like they didn't need him, or they could have had somebody a little bit bigger. But he's there and he's not awful, and he does. The one thing he contributes to this movie is a pretty gruesome death that I did enjoy as he kills Breaker, because he tongues him to death, which is
Yes.
phenomenal.
Yes, he does.
Um, Billy Zane. Something that I also enjoyed from this movie is that while the blood seals protects the house from demons, it doesn't protect your mind, and you are still tempted And there's this whole metaphor, right, that goes into, God will protect you from the bigger things, but he also gives you free will, that you need to be able to choose to do the good, not just like sit back and go, oh, God will do everything. No, you have free will, right? All these themes are playing. Billy Zane tempts everybody. He tempts Cordelia, which we talked about, which, by the way, little detail, there was a little
The
blow
tear.
dryer. The tear,
Mhm.
yes. That was an insane effect. um, and then you have Uncle Willie's Temptation, where, it's all the bodacious porn actresses from the 90s just showing up there. And, you have all these temptations going on. I didn't understand Jada Pinkett's that well, if I'm being really honest. I understood it, but I went like, it's not a real temptation. But I
I mean,
digress.
it could have been, but I think
Um,
that's how she resisted. It wasn't realistic to her.
yeah, I know. Which there's a whole thing that we could talk about. Maybe he couldn't read her, and that's why it was interesting. Maybe that's why she was the chosen one. Uh, but what about you guys? And I want you to think about, like, if Billy Zane would tempt you to let him in and possess you, like, how would he tempt you and succeed, Miss Ace?
It's really hard to think of this in a complete non-realistic fashion for me because again, like unless it's super realistic to me, I'm just like, you're full of shit, guy. Um, but honestly, I think if he just told me, like, if he gave me the Zane eyes from outside in the window and just kind of whispered to me, like, all your student loans will be paid off. You won't have to be worried about anything. You're not tied to any financial system. In which case, I'd just be like, "Oh, word, fuck yeah, dude. Show me the cash first, and then yeah, come on in."
Show me the cash first, Mr. Zane. Don't you lie to me,
Like
little shit.
it specifically, he has to give me the Zane eyes when he does it because if he's just telling me, it's like, "Yeah, you're full of shit, dude. I don't trust you. I don't trust that." But if he gives me the Zane eyes, I'm already locked into that shit, right? And then just like, you show me that cash. Yeah, it could be a fig Newton of my imagination. I don't know, but just like show me that cash, and I'm just like, buddy, come on in.
Because he has been shown to lie. That's fair. Like
Yeah.
when Roach when he said "Vaya con Dios" and a "Vaya con Diablos" too to you too, Mr. Roach. Oh, Mr.
Yeah.
Roach. Yeah, I lied. And then they devour him. So you got to make
Yeah.
sure. I agree. You got to make sure that those loans are paid,
That's fair.
so you don't get monkey pawed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real. But that's what I mean. It's so hard for it to be realistic because if he sits there and says like, "Oh yeah, I got it," it's like, all right, I'm resisting that because I know you're full of shit. No one's just gonna come up
Yeah.
and do that.
Yeah,
No,
I agree.
that is totally fair.
I agree.
What about you, Mr. Bebe?
Yeah, I'm in that same boat as Sabrina. Like, he's a liar. So the fact that he is a liar, to be able to tempt somebody, you got to be really, really weak-minded. And I agree with Sabrina that, if he gave the Zane eyes, I mean,
Yes.
at that point, it was just like, hey, man, like, I'll fake cry if you want, and just, can you rub my tear? Like, can you do that for me? I would,
Gingerly away.
Could you do that? Like, I'd really appreciate it. But I think in movie aspect, I would have probably like the Uncle Willie situation, just a
Yes.
bunch of
Yes.
fucking girls in thong bikinis with fat asses, and I'd be like, this is awesome. And then he'd be like,
Yeah.
he even would tell me, you just try the long hardwood, it'll fuck you up. And I'd be like, I don't need that. Can I have this? This is amazing. And if he's
Can you
like,
imagine?
you can have that, I'd be like, could you hang with me too? Show me the sponge trick. If he can show me the sponge trick, I'm down. I'm all for it. I just got to see how he does it.
Can you imagine though? Tommy's like standing there, like pants are already unbuttoned. He's like waddling his way over, and we're just like, Tommy, what the fuck?
You guys don't see it? you guys don't see it? It's just a bunch of ass.
It's beautiful.
It's so
We're just like,
beautiful.
what the fuck,
And
man? Get
Billy-
over
You just see him
Wait.
humping in the air, just humping in the air,
Hump in
go
the
like,
air.
oh yeah.
But keep in mind, as I'm humping in the air, I'm doing the mic. I'm going. Why is he doing that with his mouth? Because Billy Zane's trying to teach me the sponge trick, and I can't get it. I'm like, fuck, I fucked up. The fuck is he doing?
my
Shoot him now. You might as well shoot him now and end it. He's
We're
fucked.
sitting back there with the shotgun to his head, like, Tommy, I swear to God, man, if you don't turn around right now.
I turn around, the sponge comes out. I did it. Bang! Blow the fucking head off. Turns out
Clean
Billy,
it up with the sponge. It's okay.
Billy Zane changed his mind, doesn't want to possess me. You shoot me in the head and kill me. Like, damn, that's not the way you want to go. But he got the sponge trick down, so that's good.
I tell you, I'm just imagining. That's hilarious. You know what? For me, it would be kind of like the same Uncle Willie treatment, but instead of like a vodka or anything like that, probably be some good cigars. And instead of like ginormous 90s bebés, it would be more fat asses. Yes. And then just like cigars and just having some fun. And yeah, I'd be just like hanging out and just having a blast with Billy Zane. Yeah, it's exactly the same for me. If I now, granted, would it actually work on me? It depends on the day.
That's true, too.
Some days you just don't want to deal with
Depend-
shit. And
does
you're just like,
depend.
nah,
Come,
not today.
No, some-
Jesus Zane, cut it out, all right? Not today. How about tomorrow? Maybe. We'll talk about it later. Still, I need to
Find me
see how you do
tomorrow.
the sponge trick. Show me the sponge trick.
I will be like Irene, where he goes like, Irene, I can serve you up some nice
I
ham
love that
for you.
character
And
moment, okay?
She
Try
gives
the
him
finger
the,
food.
She gives him the nubble.
And then she,
What is that? I'm
Was
giving
that
you
a
the
yes?
finger.
Was that a yes? I just gave you the finger, motherfucker. All right, I'll try again. I'll try again later.
He's like, up, heard.
He's
I'll be
like,
back.
I got you, no worries. And then he just
I'll try
leaves.
somebody else first.
You know, I feel like because of the way he is, I want Billy Zane to be my neighbor. Like that's
Yeah.
what I would want. I want that Billy Zane as my neighbor. You know,
You'd invite him to the cookout and
Oh,
he'd
yeah.
just be
Doing
absolutely
sponge tricks.
insane. And then you'd just like hear nothing from him when he's back home. But every time he shows up, he's just like
It's
a
a-
character.
It's a fucking party. He's
Yeah.
stealing souls. Like, where'd
you
everybody
see him
go?
collecting mail and he's always got a story for you.
And you're just like, oh, Mr. Zane's out. Let me go say hello.
Yeah.
You go
like,
outside
wait for
just
him
to
to get
look-
the mail so you can go get the mail.
Yeah, you want to go get the mail, or he goes to go get the mail, but I already took my mail. Ooh, walk outside, look at the clouds. Gonna rain today, huh, Billy? No, it's not. Hey, can you pull a sponge out? Could you do it? Could you do the sponge trick?
Eventually, he just gets so tired of your shit every time he sees you. He like
He hides.
mad dashes for his door.
He just hides, running. I have a child. I have a child. Like, oh, he
I-
said
I
the line.
can't-
He said the line.
I can't talk to you right now. I have a child inside.
And I would run with him.
oh my
though.
God, call the police.
I would chase him. I would run behind him. Can I see? Like, you know, I'd be. He'd have to move. It would be wrong. I'd buy him a cowboy hat for his birthday and tell him, please put it on, then throw it on the floor.
I would buy him a cowboy hat too. He has to, everywhere he walks, he has to say, hold up, motherfuckers.
Hold down,
Everywhere he walks in.
motherfucker.
I feel like he already has many. Like, there's no way that man doesn't have at least like 2 cowboy hats.
He has to.
Minimum.
And boots.
Yes.
He has to have cowboy boots.
Oh, yeah.
Which, random fact, I'm really getting excited for that Marlon Brando movie that he's doing.
Yeah.
Because he's doing Marlon Brando. I don't know if you've seen stills from it. He looks identical to Marlon Brando post babe face.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah, no.
He's
Yeah,
been kind of like quiet too. It's pretty rare to hear Billy Zane's name. So
The only
Still a treat
time
every
I've
time.
seen him, the only time I've seen him and he did phenomenal was in Legends of Tomorrow. I saw him and he was P.T. Barnum
Yeah.
in Legends of Tomorrow, and he was phenomenal. And of course, he was, first of all, it was P.T. Barnum, so you know it's a bad guy, but you know it's Billy Zane, so he's an extra bad
He's
guy,
an extra,
P.T.
extra
Barnum.
bad guy.
So I was really excited for that. You know, coming down and winding down a little bit, I wanted to talk about the gruesome ghouls and practical effects of this movie. We kind of touched on them a little bit. We talked about the sponge effect. It's a
Wonderful.
practical thing. It was not a digital effect.
No,
Like
that was a
right
sponge.
nowadays, that's a sponge that he lodged in his mouth, and he went like, "Blah," and
How
he
much do you
just
think it's
like
worth?
had it out.
I
The
think
sponge?
I think he
Yeah.
owns that sponge.
No.
I think he still uses that.
Or Thomas
No.
Hayden Church owns that sponge.
Somebody definitely has that sponge. And it
I
is
can see
not Billy
Thomas
Zane.
Hayden Church. He's got the sponge.
It's like framed in a shadow box.
Yep.
The car battery.
He's got
Yeah.
the car battery. And he's got fucking Brendan Fraser's fucking undies from George of the Jungle. And he's
Oh,
just
of
like,
course.
yeah, no,
And
I collect
and
my
he
movies.
has a jar of sand.
A jar of
And he
sand.
has a jar of sand.
I collect for my movies all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
I'm just a very big fan. And you're like, I see that, Mr. Church.
Oh, and he has a cowboy hat but not from this movie. He has it from Tombstone,
Tombstone.
Yes.
which he was also in that movie with Billy Zane.
Yes, Billy Zane
Can you
was in
believe
Tombstone.
It's amazing.
They have to have a
Um,
good time every time.
Oh yeah, they need a third movie before they go out. It's too late. We need another Thomas Hayden Church movie with Billy Zane,
Yes.
and they need to be rivals somehow.
Yes.
I don't know what.
Rivals
that's
to
gonna
best
be a
friends.
thing.
Yeah, they should be like
Yeah.
it should be like a Fast and Furious movie. Billy Zane and Thomas Hayden Church, but they're using like, I don't know, tricycles. or
Scooters.
something. Scooters.
Yeah, they're just on Vespas the whole time. I'm gonna get you.
Coming up, I'm getting closer.
I would watch it. I want like the movie Employee of the Month, but I need it to be fucking,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
Billy Zane and fucking Thomas Hayden Church, and they just work at Walmart or something. And they're just sitting there on
Make
the
it like
scooters.
modern day Costco.
Yeah, there you go. Like,
Yes.
is that
Only one
technically
of them is
what it
forklift
was?
certified.
When he puts forklift certified, they all break OSHA code and shit. You're like, what is going on in this movie? Everything is going on, and it's amazing.
The whole movie is actually
Oh,
just them thrown into a Costco. It's not actually.
I need a
movie.
George
They
of the
just had a
Jungle
film crew follow
reference.
them around.
He's got to throw a rope around something and swing off of it. Billy Zane's got to find a
Yes.
sponge, and he should be like, "You should put that in your mouth," and he should be like, "Shut up, asshole," and then walk away, and you're like, "There's a reference again." And then, of course, what does
Yeah.
he find on the fucking TV playing Titanic?
Yes.
Specifically, him, holding the child.
Him
up
with
as
the
he's getting
child.
in the boat.
He has a child. Please, I know what
He
you're
needs to
supposed
say
do.
that at some point in the movie. He needs to. I have a child.
He should grab. Yes, that's what he would
he's
do.
like he finds a lost child inside the store, and he's running up to customer service to get their parrot. Like, wait, I have a child.
Oh
I have
no!
a child.
Even better, have him grab a Cabbage Patch Kid, and then he goes,
my God.
"Hey, whoever Thomas Hayden Church's character's name, I have a child," and then he just takes off running. I have a child. And that movie would be possibly the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
Hands down,
Yes.
cult classic immediately.
But
Instantaneous.
winding down, where I just wanted to ask you, like, what did you think of the effects for like the demons? And because obviously you have some of the digital effects that are a little bit wonky, like Billy Zane's splooge, fire lightning splooge that
Yeah.
shoots from his crotch. Like, it's not realistic. It's funny,
Well,
but it's
also,
not realistic.
why was it fire? And does it burn when he pees?
No, it does not.
I don't think he.
And
I
it
don't
does
think
not
burns
burn
he pees.
when. You can ask Jada Smith because she received the full measure of that explosion. If you know what I mean, like she was engulfed in it.
It just wrapped
Could've been
around
me.
her too. Like it was just. And she was like, "Ooh." Hey. Get
He,
you-
he
get
was
your
guiding
Zane
it.
away.
He was guiding.
He was.
It.
He was playing with it a little bit. See, that's
the
the problem.
zipper sound effect when it goes away, fucking lost me. I was just like, stop.
Who is behind the board right now pressing buttons because they're doing a phenomenal
The
job.
loudest zipper sound as
They're
soon as the
doing
fire
a
goes away. I'm like, I
phenomenal
fucking
job.
can't.
Get that man an Oscar.
The only sound effect not get over me was the panther growl every time a demon showed up.
Either
Right,
that
yeah,
or every
that-
time they
I
touch
lost
the key. They did it every time they touched the key too. And Raver made a comment about that. He was just like, I love just the jungle cat sound.
Mhm.
Why is that?
It works. It's perfect. That's what demons sound
Yeah.
like. Just rah.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay.
When they
Yeah.
appear and disappear, they're jungle cats.
Yeah.
But I did like
Oh my God.
the look of the demons. The look of the demons was very
Yeah.
interesting. It was very different because like demons are portrayed in many, many different ways in many, many different movies, books, media, everything. But these definitely look like if gremlins and some fucked up lake monster had a baby, and then you just get these little fucks that just why did their faces all split open like that? I don't know, but I love it. It's so fucking crazy.
They were adorable.
They're like
They
oddly
were actually
cute.
adorable.
Yeah, they're like oddly cute, but you're also just like, but I also don't want to like be around you for too long. You'll
No.
probably just eat me.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
No,
definitely
this
do.
is true.
But I love them. I love them.
Mr. Baby, any thoughts on the effects before we move on?
I loved it. I mean, I love that, like, when he created the demons and how they were, like, born, and then he kisses one on the fucking head and
He's
then
just like,
winks.
Yes.
And then
yes.
he fucking winks, and you're like,
They
this
look all,
guy
like,
is so
sticky.
gross. Yeah, but I love that practicalness of just goo and
Yeah.
fucking rubber and just it looked really good. And then when
piercings in the whole thing.
they got,
Yeah.
but here that's what's cool though. Like when they became like the actual demons, they were like punk rock demons. You seen some with earrings and long fucking hair.
One
like,
was rocking the septum, and I just went, all right.
I mean, that's a badass.
I feel
demon.
seen.
That's a badass demon right there.
Yeah.
You know, with panther noises, jungle cat noises as it's running down the street. Like, it worked. It really, really worked. It gave me the vibe of like how, especially because this is a 90s, mid 90s movie that, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Howling.
Yeah.
And the way that they did the werewolf in that movie of how it's very with the hair and the long arms and and you're watching it and you're like, I could see a demon looking like this, but I can also
Yes.
see a demon looking like Billy Zane. So this kind of works too. The practical effects in this movie was done really well. I think probably the worst part with the effects with CGI was just the lightning effects, like just the fucking green lightning, the fucking
When it was
fire
raining,
lightning.
that type of lightning too, it was like, what?
Well, that's old. That's like that old school fucking way to film too.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's almost
Yeah.
like they're just kind of grabbing like a metal sheet and they're shaking it to get it, and then they get that lightning strike. And but again, the way he films, and that's actually, I'm glad that you said that too, because that one shot, right, in the window when Billy Zane
Mhm.
jumps out the window and they're looking at him, it's beautifully shot. Like the way Dickerson shoots it, it's not straight, it's kind of curved. But you got Sadler in the front, and then what's her face, Cordelia is also in the front. Everybody else is just trying to get a peek at what's going on, but those two are front and center. And the way he shot it,
Yes.
it worked really, really well with the wind, the lightning hits, and then of course, boop, there's Mr. Zane throwing his cowboy hat and his coat. That's great.
Yeah. No, and then the blood in general, when they do the blood, not through the digital effects, but when they do the blood works well. It's actually from the neon from the glow sticks that they use for it.
Oh, cool.
So it's as simple as those little things, as simple as
Very
something
toxic.
like that.
Cool.
Yeah, and Billy Zane had a bunch of that in his hand, so we don't know what's happening to him. God bless him. I hope he's okay. But moving on, now that we finally talked about this film, really happy that we got a chance to talk about it. Mr. Baby,
Yeah.
would you give this a second round?
Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I've given it a second round. I will tell people to have multiple rounds on it, just like Uncle Willie.
Yes. Uncle Willie, here's to you, Uncle Willie. No, honestly, I get what you mean. What about you, Miss Ace?
Oh, absolutely 100%. I am already setting up a movie night where I will subject my friends to this. I am making a drinking
Yes.
game. It's going to be great.
You should call it the Uncle Willie.
I will call it the Uncle Willie. I will make a specific drink called the Uncle Willie, and I will make another one called the Zaniac.
Yes.
And we will have a drinking game. I will send you the
Yes.
recipe when it happens.
Yes, I'm excited.
Please do, because even though I might not drink it, but I'll be able to see it and go like,
I do
hey,
offer
that's nice.
non-alcoholic alternatives, so you will get that one, Eddie.
Oh, thank you.
I have friends that don't drink. We're in it.
Because the cigarette smoking man is only a cigarette smoking man, not a whiskey drinking man. One final thing. This movie's from Universal, and it's hitting its 30th anniversary. Do you think this movie deserves a Halloween Horror Nights haunted house? Let's start with you, Miss Ace.
I think they do, but knowing Universal, they're not going to do that because they like to ride the horse and milk the cow until it bleeds and it dies. So even if they're listening, if you don't want to do a house, do a scare zone. Do a scare zone. So either make a house where you've got the little mini house that leads in, mostly through the mines, because I could see that as a whole ass haunted house. Make the mines the haunted house. But if you need a scare zone to lead into it, you have a whole ass array of things you can do. You could do the house, you could do the mines, you could do the outside where they come up from the ground. You could literally do anything from the movie with these little fuckers, okay? And at the end of all of it, just put a little Billy Zane stand in there, okay? We'll all be happy with that. 100% yes.
Mr. Baby, what about you?
1,000%. They need to do it. They won't, but they need to do this. And I think the way Sabrina broke that down is the way and perfect way to do it. You definitely have. And now, especially with the animatronics that they're using for Epic Universe, for the Frankenstein ride and whatnot, you can create a Billy Zane animatronic. We don't need no actor. Get a fucking animatronic up there just spitting lines out.
I would steal it in a day.
I think we both. I want to see the sponge come out of the animatronic, though. Just
I'll make it happen. We'll figure it out.
That's amazing. Get me that.
Oh no! Now, as we wind down and we start analyzing this movie, we've done our part as the Night School Horror crew to just go through these movies. But at the end of the day, when we meet fucked up people, we always recommend in Night School Horror that they go see our very own spiritual therapist, Mr. Bebe. Take it away.
Therapy, therapy, we need some therapy. Therapy, therapy, we need some therapy. Call Tommy James 877, move it now. With the prescription pad in hand, he's gonna fix your horror plan. Oh yeah. Are you lost in the woods? Or chased by a guy with a hook? What did your best friend
Okay,
say?
thank you so much, Big Money. Thank you, Professor. I appreciate it. Because indeed it is time for a therapy session. Now, what all the listeners out there don't know is I've currently pulled up my presentation. That's right. I'm going to be doing presentations from now on so that all my classmates can see what I've done. So I hope you guys enjoy it because I know you can see it right now. And all the people that are watching the video, they can see it too. So you have to go and watch these videos. So this is how it's going to be. I'm going to pick a patient. I'm going to talk about and give them a diagnosis, give you their symptoms, and 3 prescriptions on how to fix it. My patient, of course, I think it's pretty fucking obvious, but is none other than the collector, a.k.a. William George Zane Jr. Of course, he is from this film, which we spoke about, which is Tales from the Crypt, Demon Night. Now, here we go. Here is my diagnosis. Excessive egomania with narcissistic demonic tendencies. Now, you're probably thinking, that movie therapist, how did you know about that? Well, let me explain. These are the symptoms. unrelenting urge to boss people around with promises of ultimate power and eternity of suffering. Compulsive need to drop one-liners that might make you laugh, but at the cost of basic human dignity. And the final symptom, monologue addiction while rocking outfits that scream, "I'm the villain and I'm loving it." Well, due to that fact, I am going to give out my prescriptions. Prescription 1, I call it the Your Titanic Ego. Listen, Zane Train, your ego's so big it could have sunk the Titanic, and the iceberg was just a minor inconvenience. You stroll into town in that cowboy duster, tossing one-liners like you're auditioning for Tombstone 2 Demon Boogaloo. Here's the kicker, though. Nobody's buying it. If arrogance was a weapon, you'd be a one-man apocalypse. But seriously, chill out. Try scaring people without coming off like Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. Awkward and unnecessary. People would be terrified if you just, I don't know, stopped trying so hard. Number 2, enough with the willies. Buddy, your boundary issues are so bad they make Jada's Tupac obsession look like a healthy hobby. You're sliding up to people like a demonic used car salesman, trying to whisper sweet nothings about internal damnation. Nobody asked for that, you creep. Seriously, you're handing out the heebie-jeebies like you were the Phantom at the opera. You're so obsessed with chasing down Uncle Willie Sadler, you haven't stopped to think that Wild Bill Overbeck has way bigger issues than your bogus journey to nowhere. Maybe it's time you learned how to respect personal space, and not just in the "I'm here to take your soul" kind of way. Let's dial back that weird energy, yeah? And my final prescription I call Dead Calm Giveaway. Listen up, Slick. This key is not yours. No matter how many creepy smiles you throw around or how many dimensions you chase it through, like some deranged, emotional, unavailable ex. It's honestly embarrassing at this point. Yes, I'm totally on Team Zaniac, but let's be real. Some doors are meant to stay locked. Like the one between you and actually doing something with your life. Here's your prescription. Stop stalking magical artifacts like it's your full-time job. Pick up a hobby. Maybe try sailing. You're probably terrible at it, which is perfect. And funnel that twisted energy into something more productive. Anything else but world domination, please. So, Collector, you're like the guy who thinks he's the star of the show, but ends up draining the life out of it. You've got all the flair, but none of the charm. Chasing after a key like a wannabe Indiana Jones with zero self-awareness. You're a showman with no show. It's time to step back, drop the apocalypse plan, and maybe find a hobby that doesn't involve destroying the world. Take a breath, lower the drama, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find your real purpose. Thank you, movie guy baby.
Wow, Mr. Baby, I must say, I hope that the collector has listened to your recommendations, because the reality is that if he listened to you, he would abandon his demonic ways and just embrace a life of love.
1,000%, and still do the sponge thing though. I don't want that to stop.
No, because
keep doing that.
He will become Billy the Love Sponge.
You know, maybe with your help and that diagnosis, he can actually say the word love.
That's true. He couldn't say it. With my prescriptions, I guarantee you, Billy Zane or the collector can definitely use the term live.
He'll learn how to say love, and he'll learn how to love.
But you know something that I loved from this movie were the deaths. And Mr. Malave is here, sitting there, strangely looking at his fingers. I think he's trying to count how many deaths happen in this film. So, Mr. Malave, let's see that glorious gore.
Glorious gore! Glorious, and I won't survive. I won't survive because of glorious gore. And I won't survive. I won't survive
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Malave. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, I don't think he's feeling it yet.
Matt, you gonna say something? What?
Oh shit.
Wait, hold on a second. Oh, Professor.
Yeah.
So hold on, his handwriting is chicken shit. Okay. So apparently this movie got him to the point where he can't speak.
Oh. Well, yeah, he gave me a different note, but it's fine. Um, uh, you know what? Let's just do something. Because we love Matt, we want to honor him, even though he's still counting his hands and he's playing Wipeout with his butt cheeks right now. I don't know why, but let's then just do us the glorious score. Like, let's each one pick our favorite kills. Then, okay. I think that'll get him. It will never live up to how he does it because he does it so well. But let's start with you, Miss Ace. What's your favorite kill?
Well, there were so many good ones. It's hard to pick just one. Um, I mean, we've kind of already touched base on it, so I don't want to go into that too much. And I'm going to pick the non-obvious one of getting punched through the face. Um, I really liked the ending one. It gave me a certain there's a certain je ne sais quoi about it where we're killing. Uh, oh my god,
The Collector.
no, Breaker.
Oh yeah,
When we're killing
Yeah, Bill
Breaker,
Sam.
and it's just
Yeah.
Danny's face as he tongues him to death is just one of those things that I'm just like, oh, you know what? Yep, that gave me a certain feel. Gave me a feel that I was like, that's uncomfy, and that's also badass. Because why would you pick that of all things to kill your main character with? But you know what? I'm for it. I'm gonna take it. I think that
You
one was my
know,
favorite.
Fair.
that's fair. I'm gonna pick Irene's death because I love self-sacrifice, and Irene was a badass bitch. Like, she was total badass, and she took those grenades and exploded and killed all those demons. To be fair, all those grenades should have exploded that motel. We can talk about that some other time, but I think she did a really badass job there. So my favorite death was Irene's death. I'm a sucker for self-sacrifice. What about you, Mr. Maybe? What about you, Mr. Baby? Hello.
Hello. I'm a sucker for a good sucker punch. Because I'm sorry. Holy shit. Billy Zane, you should play Muhammad Ali, sir. You punched that motherfucker right in the face, that your hand went through his face, and then it got stuck. And then you were trying to get your hand out, but you couldn't get your hand out because it was legitimately stuck. And then you pulled his fucking head off. And then you hit somebody with the head on your hand. You want to talk about a kill. You want to talk about some gore. I did it. I said it wrong. You want to talk about some gore. A punch to the face by none other than Billy Zane is some glorious gore. Holy shit. That was one of the first things that when I first watched the movie made me go, what? This is wild. And till this day, I know it's coming. So I smile and I go, do it. Like, I'm sitting there, it's like, I feel like I'm the emperor in fucking,
Yes.
in Star Wars. And I'm like, do it. Just punch him in the fucking, I wish I could punch somebody that hard. Amazing. I love that kill. My all-time favorite kill in that movie is none other than Billy Zane punching through that man's fucking face.
And I honestly, easily one of the best kills in the whole decade, if I'm being honest.
100%.
Moving on, I think that all of us did a great pick there. Malave, we wish you were here just with us. I don't know where you are spiritually. You're just an empty shell there. Please, sir, please. Okay, I digress. Stop playing Wipeout with your butt cheek, sir. Please stop doing that. Okay, so now moving on. This movie, even though it is funny, has elements of it that are horror, and they're honestly horrific. And that is why we need to take ourselves down to some dark moments and lean into the horror as we delve in with Sabrina Ace into the Creep Corner.
The corner. You never leave. You never see me. Creep corner.
All right. Imagine, gentlemen, if you will, you've just fought to your last stand, your one moment where you feel a sense of this is it or this is where I die. Everything comes in around you. You have two people by your side, a woman and a child. You understand that nothing can last forever and that you have to make a final stand against this ultimate evil. And when you do, you're trying to formulate a plan. You're trying to think of any way out of this that you can. You finally understand who you have to give the key to. You turn to the woman next to you on your left. You tell her that she's the chosen one, that she needs this key, until you hear a voice behind you. Can I have it? And a hand, Kali Ma's your fucking heart, throws you against a wall, grips into your flesh, and a tongue, snake-like though it is much bigger than a giant serpent you have ever encountered in your life, juts out and plays tic-tac-toe on your organs. And Danny has made it to my creep corner, because what the fuck is that face-splitting little motherfucker trying to do, doing nothing else in this goddamn movie other than to terrorize me, read Tales of the Crypt comics, and say, what the fuck are you here for, until that final stand where he just decides to become a giant serpent in a little boy's body? Possessed by what? A comic book? No thanks. What a fucking waste of a child.
Hell yeah. That shit was
Oh yeah,
really fucking creepy. Like, whoa, Danny.
yes, it was.
Daniel, stop that.
Literally wouldn't expect it
You
from
know,
him. He was useless
what
the
the
whole
best
time.
thing? That's what I was going to say. The most useless character in the whole movie is the most fucked up demon. Like that
Yes.
was like a nice little turn there. You would not have expected him to be this. The design, everything, the tongue, everything, phenomenal. I would also say that I also had a date that ended like that as well. Also, not involving a child, but just an actual adult. But yeah,
Here we go again.
very, yeah.
We keep going back to this
but-
story. I imagine you had to tell us it wasn't with a child twice, though. So
The problem is that all her scenarios are very similar, but yet they always involve a child. And yeah, no, I don't float that way. I mean, with the child bit, the other bits, are fine. The child bit is the part that's a problem. But yeah, no, it's great. Well, speaking of which, I'm about to light a cigarette because class, as your professor, I need to give you some final lessons for the day before we hear our bell, and we can just have a great day. So this is lessons from a cigarette smoking man.
Mijo, listen close. Aquí está la verdad. If your house says get out, don't be living with that. Dancing with demons. Pero con ritmo. Eddie drops wisdom with every humor. Lessons from a cigarette smoking man with a puff and a glance. He's got the master plan from insidious.
Hey kid, let's light up. If you attach a car battery to your nipples, they will get smoky. The eyes are the windows into the soul. Unless you're Billy Zane, then it's your penis. Maybe God should have left it all to the monkeys. Guacamole stains are hard to get rid of. Don't make deals with demons. Hell on earth is not as bad as hemorrhoids. God will protect you from the darkness outside like the blood seals, but He also will give you free will. Because of that, He will not protect you from temptation. That is your battle to fight. Once you let the darkness in, the protective seal doesn't work because you lost yourself in the temptation. But cigarette smoking, man, what can save us from our failures? Love, forgiveness, mercy, and grace, with some spiritual and psychological therapy along the way. I actually know a pretty good spiritual therapist. I can send you his way. By the way, if you are dating a really cool guy with smug features who shoots fire and lightning from his crotch, he's probably an upper level demon. Water is enough to clean blood-stained white clothes. They actually get them sparkly white, but not guacamole. If you are a whore and you have some loser postal service worker trying to woo you and you put him in the friend zone, he's probably going to shoot or explode his job. Have you ever heard of the phrase going postal? It originated when dozens of postal workers went insane and became violent. So do yourself a favor and the public a favor. Once in a while, give him a freebie. That will release a lot of bad energy that the postal worker has accumulated. What dignity do you have to lose? You're already a whore and poor enough to know postal workers, not celebrities. Besides, it's your patriotic duty to screw the living daylights out of that wacko before he blitzes the whole post office and leaves you a little love note saying he did it all for you. Till next time, good looking at you, kid.
Wow. I feel like I'm a postal worker now.
I identify as a
Right?
postal worker.
I identify as
Please.
a postal worker.
There you go.
No, yeah, it's like falling down, but just like in real life. Um, Having said that, everybody, this was a blast. This was a great lesson today in night school horror. Just being able to talk about this movie and get all our student listeners across the world to know and appreciate this movie. That's what this school is all about, teaching them about the beauties and wonders of horror. So, as we say our goodbyes, I see that Matt just ran away. Okay, so what we'll just do is, Matt, come. You want us? No goodbyes. Okay, let's just say our goodbyes and let's sign off real quick. Start with you, Miss Ace.
Yeah, I'm gonna go run after Matt real quick. So I'm just gonna say, super great movie. Absolutely loved it. And maybe if they used that shower to get the guacamole stains out, since it takes blood stains out, it would have worked out way better. But other than that, this is Florida's favorite creep, Ace. Loving this movie. And Matt, hold up, Matt.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of concerned about Matt. Mr. Bebe, your
Yeah,
turn.
I'm also a little concerned about him. I think I'm going to join Sabrina to go see what the fuck is going on with him because he's acting a little funny. But yeah, this is Tommy James, aka Mr. Oh So Smooth, aka the Smooth Effect himself, the movie guy, baby. This was great. I love this fucking movie, and I love me, Billy Zane. Hey, Billy, if you're listening, you know where to find me. You could be my neighbor and show me that sponge trip. Sabrina, I'm coming.
Well, class, this is Big Money Eddie, the Grand Wizard of Horror, and giving you a little secret of how I put my chairs extra sticky. Fermented platypus sperm. That's the way to go. Now, that's a little secret of horror for you guys. Now, bell's about to ring. Make sure that you keep creepy, that you keep smooth, and that you keep horrible. Bye bye, everybody.